Good morning guys, how are you? You can probably tell I am ridiculously excited about this video because as you've seen it through the title and the thumbnail of the video, it's gonna be about shooting raw manual time lapses on the iPhone. I know, mind-blowing, but that's because I always thought it's impossible to create a decent time-lapse shooting long exposures during the daytime or at night on the phone, because you couldn't choose manual settings, you couldn't shoot raw. But this is all about to change now, as you can shoot raw manual time lapses on the iPhone. Let's roll the video. Welcome to the Barbican, one of my favorite architectural places to shoot around London, and today is where we're going to be shooting the time lapses using the iPhone round here. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Michael, London Viewpoints on Instagram. I'm a time-lapse architecture and travel photographer, and time-lapses is something I specialize in, but I have never ever actually shot it on the phone until recently. Kind of inspired by Morten Rustad's video when he used the Huawei P30 to go on an adventure. Actually, he didn't mention the phone, but everyone in the comments figured it out. It was the Huawei P30. He went on an adventure. He was shooting raw time lapses using that Android phone. I always thought it's impossible to shoot interval photos on an iPhone that will save the raw files, especially if you wanted to change manual settings. Well, turns out I am wrong. There is an app, and it's absolutely completely free, that you can shoot manual settings, manual ISO, manual shutter, and save raw files directly to your camera roll. I know, just mind-blowing experiment. Add to that, if you put an ND on one of the lenses, the wide, the medium, or the telephoto, and you can have long exposures during daytime. Yeah, let's do this. So I brought my slider today with me. We're gonna be shooting professional, high-end, lovely movement panning, as well as perspective change, time lapses on the iPhone. And as I only have one iPhone, this one that I'm currently using, when I'm gonna be shooting the time lapses on the phone, I'm gonna be filming with my Z6 and the 14 to 30mm lens. Not that I don't like it, I obviously love my Z6s. I prefer vlogging on my phone, so now, crazy enough, the phone is becoming my vlogging device, as well as a most likely more and more often used time-lapse device. And I will tell you exactly for what reasons I will sometimes now choose the iPhone over my Z6. That's to come. Okay, so the first idea that I had was to set up my slider roundabout here, but this footbridge might belong to the Barbican estate. I don't know if I'll be thrown out of here or not, because it's setting up professional equipment. We'll see. Let's start and see how we get on. Right, so there's always room to mess something up, and I did mess up. I didn't bring a second device to control this slider. So I have to do it on the phone that will be shooting at the same time. So when I will start it on the phone, I have to quickly change apps and start the intervalometer up. Problem, bring a second device when you're shooting on a phone on a slider. I'll remember that next time. And look at who joined us today. Joe, say hello. Hello. Joe just bought a slider himself, and that's what he's going to be testing out today as well. On the second attempt, I managed to get what I wanted to get. However, I've noticed that all the raw files in camera roll are very soft, even though I focused manually at a far away distance, and for the small sensor it should be in focus. I think it's the RAW files naturally are softer because only at JPEG level they get the sharpening added. So when I sharpened it on Lightroom Mobile on the phone, then it somewhat looked reasonable. So I think the files will be fine, but we'll find out once I put this together. Okay, I'm gonna try a different setup. I'm gonna move the slider so that it slides more horizontally, offering some more parallax perspective change with all the lamps and across the street and the traffic going down below. I wanted for this shot utilize the thing that I've mentioned to you earlier that the phone does that, as far as I know, no camera does. Basically shooting at half a second interval, half a second shutter speed. So no gaps at all between any intervals and saving the raw DNG files. In the 1x lens, which is the medium lens, the normal wide, not the super wide, nor the telephoto, the iPhone 11 Pro can save exactly half a second shutters every half a second interval. However, when I started this first time lapse, something didn't work. It was skipping frames. I thought, just make sure that I got all the settings right, like I did yesterday at testing, and it just worked. Turns out that when I closed all the other apps that were hidden in the background, and I had a camera app and Lightroom because I edited one of the photos as a test, after after clearing all the apps, it did it. It works. So if you want to make sure that you shoot the half a second at half a second time lapse, make sure to swipe up and clear all the apps so that you close them properly before starting the time lapse. Right, so we're gonna change the location now. We're gonna go to the cool fountain here at the Barbican. We just gotta somehow find the right place and know where to go, because the Barbican estate is such an unbelievably beautiful, perfect maze. I love it. Joe, what do you like of the Barbican?
I love the Barbican, it's amazing.
I love the Barbican. Architecturally, it's just like, Okay, so while Joe is setting up his time-lapse, because I think that we're going to be told off here in a second, because you probably cannot set up tripods here, I decided to take this time to explain you the setup that I'm using. So basically this is the 11 Pro iPhone, the small version, not the Pro Plus. I've got 256 gig, which is plenty to shoot time lapses. Every single RAW file from this lens is about 11 meg, so a 300 shot time lapse, which I would normally do, because 300 shots gets you 12 seconds in 25p or 10 seconds in NTSC, which is just about right for uploading to any stock sites. This will take about 3 gig in DNG files, being 300 shots times 10 or 11 meg each. Speaking about the setup itself, obviously you have to have your phone on some sort of a tripod attachment, so I've got very cheap sort of phone mount, which later on you screw onto a typical tripod plate. What weird and funny contraption I've got here though is a ND1000 from, drumroll, the DJI Osmo Pocket, because at the moment, yesterday I even checked everything online on the web, there are no dedicated filter sets for the iPhone 11 Pros. Polar Pro, which does really great ones, they only did up until the X version, the previous last year's model. They really did what I saw on the website, a great job, the great design where you slide in different sets of ND. It looks brilliant. There's this other company that's called Sandmark that just how it looks and how far away from the iPhone lens the Sandmark filter lens would be it just will cause reflections going inside. It's just no good. The filter needs to be right next to the lenses, and at the moment I just see no dedicated iPhone 11 Pro where it's got the 3 lenses filters. So this is what I came up with. The ND1000 from Osmo Pocket covers each of the 3 lenses on the camera, but there's no way to sort of glue it together. I don't want to glue it together, so I cut out the sort of holder, the rubber holder from the set of filters that I got for the DJI Osmo Pocket, and I'm holding it with just rubber bands, as you can see, and it seems to work, seems to hold the filter in place. And if I need to move the filter to the other lens, I just move the rubber element which you put the filter on. I know it's quite difficult to explain, but yesterday I was playing about what other kinds of filters I could mount, and this option was me being able to mount the glass of the filter closest to the lens, leaving almost no gap. I'm sure if there was light shining from some side, there would probably be some leak inside, which you would not want, but at the moment I just see no other option how to put ND on an iPhone. So yeah, this weird contraption is what we're going with today. But as it's going to get darker, we're just going to remove the filter and shoot 1 second long exposures and whatever ISO it requires. So it will be much easier, and hopefully the quality without the ND filter in front will be better. As it's getting darker and I was able to remove the filter weird contraption from the phone, now I'm back on vlogging on the phone on my Feiju Tech little vlog pocket that I absolutely love, because I can have the Shure MV88 attached to it, and it's just light, stable and pocket solution to vlogging. Love that system. The vlogging on Z6, yeah, it's good. It will probably be much better at low light, but it's just a faff, and I like this setup, so there'll be more videos definitely coming on this setup.
Oh my god, this is amazing!
I absolutely love these highwalks. I literally think there should be more of these highwalks all around London. You get to cross above the streets. I don't know if you're allowed to put a tripod here, but it's just so cool. It reminds me a little bit of Hamburg, that has a lot of these highwalks.
That's right.
I don't think any of us actually know where this highwalk footpath will take us, but let's go that way.
Good.
I think, yeah. The last location that we're going to be going is Bloomberg headquarters. This phenomenal building, I've been there once inside, absolutely epic. But today they have an unveiling of an art installation that's part of Bloomberg Philanthropies. And yeah, we are going in to have a nice view of it. As well as I'm planning to shoot my last motion time lapse of the thing, because it's just good occasion to do that and try how the iPhones perform in DNG mode at night. So we're inside the Bloomberg headquarters reception, and it's got the fantastic design of the wooden curves all around here, and we're gonna go to a viewing point on floor first, second or whatever, to get the best view of the 3D projection art installation. Okay, so we're here at floor 2, where we got the perfect view of the art installation happening below us, and I'm just waiting for all the photographers to finish getting the perfect middle photo before I set up my time lapse, which will take about 5 to 10 minutes to set up, and then it will be like at least 10 to 15 minutes. I will let it run, and we'll get the people walking, but I wanted to do it at quick, short exposures, either half a second or 1 second exposures, so that you still get everyone's detail when they're moving around. that was pretty cool. I got a sequence of the art installation at half a second interval and half a second shutter. We couldn't film much inside past the gate because the building's got quite a lot of data protection and security, so I wasn't allowed to show you much. There's a really cool staircase that I once shot on an open house event, so have a look at this photo, absolutely amazing. Otherwise, yeah, I might get a couple of more time lapses on the tripod on the phone and show you how they come out. So as a last test, I wanted to also shoot on the wide angle 13mm lens, which unfortunately doesn't save RAW files. So you're shooting JPEG, so you need to get it right, as there's very little room to then correct it. However, these JPEGs, 12 megapixel JPEGs, are pretty decent, so I will get some information out of the shadows and reduce the highlights. And I put it on just the Genie Mini to add a little bit of padding from the left side of the 3D projection all the way to the right side, and I'm doing a 1 second shutter, 1 second interval, and I'm at ISO 50, and I'm getting quite nice exposure because obviously the 3D projection is quite bright, so I don't need to go high on ISO. So these JPEGs should look decent. So that would be it for the video about shooting RAW time lapses on the iPhone. I am surprised how well it performed. Personally, I might be actually shooting more and more on the iPhone if it shoots in DNG format. The app that I used is called the Pro Camera, and it's a completely free app, so you can just download it and shoot this. They do have a paid version, but the paid version doesn't have anything that actually interests me. So all the things to shoot a RAW time lapse are in the free app. So if you have an iPhone 11 Pro, or maybe it actually works on other iPhones, you definitely need to download that, because it enhances your time lapses to another level. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Michael, London Viewpoints on Instagram. Follow me there or subscribe here and like the video. Give me a comment about your workflow when it comes to shooting time lapses with an iPhone. Let's see if there's a better app that can do other things, maybe longer exposures, because I don't think this app allows longer than a 1 second exposure. Anyway, that's it for now for this video. I'll be doing some more explorations with that iPhone app in the future. Bye for now. Please subscribe, like and comment, and follow me on Instagram. See you guys later.